the intern queen. She said, call me the intern queen.
Let's talk roommate drama. Everyone's getting ready to go back to college, or maybe you're going to college for the first time, and I know you are all scared about your roommates. As maybe you should be. No, it's okay. Roommate drama does not have to exist. It doesn't have to be a thing. I'm gonna tell you about some of my roommate experiences over the years and give you guys some advice on how to deal with your roommates so that you can have a positive, amazing roommate experience. It does not have to be dramatic, people. It doesn't. So when I went to college, I had a random roommate, like most of you did or will do. Her name was Jenny. Hey Jenny, I'll have to send you a link to this video. And one of the reasons why Jenny and I got along so well was because we were similar personality-wise, but our hobbies and how we like to spend our free time was a little bit different. Jenny was a little bit more athletic than I was. She liked to go to certain places. I liked to go to different places. And I think the best thing about Jenny and I was that we both had our own groups of friends, right? So there wasn't this constant need to rely on one another for plans every night. So I think that one of my pieces of advice is if you have a roommate, have special things that you enjoy doing together, but have your own groups of friends. Somebody cannot be everything to you. Your roommate shouldn't have to be your best friend, your therapist when necessary, and all of those things that we all sometimes rely on roommates for. So have your own groups of friends, but then also have certain things that you love doing together. My second roommate in college was, or maybe my third roommate, was one of my closest friends, Sarah. Hey, Sarah. And Sarah and I got along so well, and some of our favorite things to do was we'd nerd out and go to Barnes & Noble together with our little laptops. I'd be trying to run my business or figure out how to run a business. I was in college. She'd be doing her creative writing, and we would both kind of geek out behind our laptops at Barnes & Noble, but it was our thing. And then we'd go to the Jewish deli for lunch, and it was just a swell day. So Sarah and I had certain things that we love to do together. So I really encourage you to think about the things that you and your roommate do have in common and go do those things together. And then don't rely on that person to do anything else with you because they don't need to. Have your own life, have your own friends. Here's a mistake that I made twice, okay? I like animals. Animals are nice, but I didn't grow up with any dogs, so I'm a little uneasy sometimes when the dogs come around. Now, I lived in two places where dogs were not allowed. Like, it was on the thing, no dogs allowed. And I had two different roommates, two different scenarios, ask me if I was okay with having a dog. And I felt bad. I didn't want to be like the mean person in the house. So I said okay to the dog. Both times, I regret being okay with the dog. So if you have some sort of personal ground rules, stick to them. I should have said no to the dog. The dog chewed up toilet paper and left it all over our place all the time. Dog number two got into the bathtub when my roommate wasn't home, turned on the faucet, and flooded our apartment. Flooded it, okay? I should have said no to the dog. So don't feel peer pressured to do things that you're just not comfortable with. We had one story, yes, Jenny, I'm telling that story. My lovely roommate said, I want to paint the wall red. I was like, I don't want to paint anything, any color. She was like, well, I want to paint the wall red. And I said, well, you paint the wall red. I don't want anything to do with it. She painted the wall half red, and she just never got around to finishing the rest. So we went through a whole year of college with a half painted red wall. And then when we moved out, we had to paint the wall back. So again, I should have stuck to my guns, and I should have just said no to the red wall, okay? So when you feel passionate about something, don't be afraid to stand up to your roommates. It's okay to be the roommate that not everyone's happy with, but I'm telling you, stick to your guns and lay some ground rules. Now let's talk common courtesy and respect, okay? You have to clean up after yourself. It's not cool to be the roomie who lets the dishes just stack up and then you have bugs the next day. You gotta do the dishes. okay? You have to respect that you are living with someone else. When you live by yourself, you can be as disgusting as you want. But when you have a roommate, you have to respect that person. Also, try to understand and get a feel for when your roommate goes to bed. If they go to bed early, then you guys need to have a conversation about what's okay and what's not okay once that person goes to bed. If your roommate goes to bed and then you decide to have all of your friends over for a late night party, that might not go over that well. So again, if there's anything that needs to be talked about, just talk about it. It's so much better than having that elephant in the room. So when it comes to roommates, this is your living situation. This is where you go home to every day. You should be able to relax at home. So have the conversations that you don't want to have. I promise it might be awkward at the time, but it will pay off in the end. The last rule I want to go over, and this is especially for girls, is have some sort of boundaries in terms of the clothing sharing situation. A lot of roommates have an open closet policy and they go into one another's closets and they steal stuff and they don't put stuff back, and at first it's all great, everyone loves to share, and then people start getting kind of catty about it, right? Where's my hairbrush? You borrowed it, you didn't put it back. Where's my white shirt? I haven't seen it. Okay? Lay some ground rules. If you borrow something, put it back the next morning. Have a 24-hour return policy. But again, I think looking back, I was the super lax roommate that didn't have any conversations. I just wanted to be sort of go with the flow, and it really didn't work out that well for me. So I lived with some great people and we had some great times together, but looking back, there were probably a couple things that I could have communicated a little bit better. So good luck, and remember, it doesn't have to be dramatic. Your roommates are people too, and sometimes they're pretty great people, so enjoy.